guys, Orly here, founder of LifeVestInside. And I want to thank each and every one of you for deciding to kick off your week with me on the weekly Kindness Kickoff with Orly, coming at you at the beginning of every week, where I do a reading from my book, Kindness Boomerang, How to Save the World and Yourself through 365 daily acts. And then I give you, myself, and all of us out there an exciting kindness challenge based on the reading. For those of you that want to grab a copy of the Kindness Boomerang book, and it's a lesson-a-day book in kindness for every day of the year, an act, a quote, and a short reflection on the power of paying it forward, you could pick up your copy on our website, LifeVestInside.com. All the proceeds go directly to the nonprofit to help us continuing to spread kindness, hope, and positivity into the world. You can also check it out on one of the online retailers, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, IndieBound, iTunes. So check it out there. And of course, you get to win your copy here, and today is one of those days. So what do I mean? In the very beginning of every month, I do a drawing where one person gets to win 2 copies of the Kindness Boomerang book, one for themselves, and of course, we're talking about kindness here, so one to gift forward to someone else. So how do you win it? Simply by engaging on the platform, sharing your thoughts, your ideas, the acts that you're doing, what were some of the hardships in actually completing those acts. And so today, because we're in the very beginning of June, I will be announcing at the very end through a random picker. I basically look through all the comments. I know that I have not responded to all of them, and I apologize. Actually, responding is one of my favorite, all-time favorite things to do. And I've been so insane, I haven't had the chance to do that. But just please know, I read every single comment, and I will respond to every single comment, even though it's not happening right away. And I appreciate the words and the words of positivity that so many of you have shared. I'm going to share a couple of the comments that some of you have left that just really brought a big smile to my face. And I'll be announcing the winner of the book. So I'm really excited, so stay tuned for that. And the act for this week is coming to us from May 31st. And as I was going through, and I always say this, but it's just wild how it's always true. I was flipping through the pages for this week, and this one popped out at me. Before I go into reading it, I have been having a very hard time over the past few days actually sleeping. I don't know if any of you have been experiencing the same thing. Yes, with everything going on in the world, and I know that the virus has been now here for several months, and it's very much impacting every one of our lives in all sorts of different ways. But over the past few days, even though currently I'm living in Jerusalem, as many of you know, I'm originally from New York, and watching videos of what's been happening throughout the U.S. has been breaking my heart, and seeing what's happening to my city, a city that I love so much, is also breaking my heart. And so it's been very hard to sleep, and it's sort of gotten me a little bit down, and I was feeling like, what can I do? That has to be something I can do. Anyways, I realized, we can hold on to the negativity, and we can continue to allow the negativity to consume us. Sometimes when we watch too much news, it can really bring us down. It could be a downer. At least that's the case for me. I take these things very much into my heart. And so I was taking a look at the acts, and take a look at what it said on May 31st. The act goes as follows. Try and settle a fight between friends. Kind words and patience can solve any problem. And the quote by Dorothy Thomas, peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. My reflection, peace is something that ought to be pursued in spite of how cunning it may be in escaping us. What is peace but the acknowledgement of beauty and significance in another, in spite of the obvious and apparent differences that exist? Like a forest fire, our words can escalate a feud and transform it into an all-consuming blaze. But with the proper intention and sensitivity, our words can quell even the greatest flame. Resolve to be a lifelong pursuer of peace, remembering that the immense joy in helping 2 people catch a glimpse of the view from the other side is far more intriguing than the sudden excitement of being the innocent witness and bystander to controversy. Guys, I can't think of an act and a reflection that is so relevant to what's going on right now than this. Now, you could take this in many ways, okay? In your own personal life, trying to settle a fight, whether it be between friends or family members. And again, it's not about Peace isn't about there always never having being conflict, like it says. It's about knowing how to cope with that conflict. There is going to be conflict in life. Why is there going to be conflict in life? Very simple. Because we are all different people and we all perceive things differently. You can have two people that look at the same exact thing and see something completely different. More than that, you could have two people listen to the same thing and completely hear something different. And it's the same exact thing. The best example of this, if you guys remember last year, there was this voice note of a specific word being said, and everybody's listening to it, and you have two people listening to the same word, and one person heard it one way, one person heard it the other. It was, if I remember correctly, it was Laurel and Yanni. Okay, people played this voice note. Okay, some people were hearing Laurel, some people were hearing Yanni. It's the same exact voice note. There was this picture of a sneaker. Some people are seeing green, and some people are seeing pink. How could it be? If this is not an example of how we all perceive things differently, even if it's the same thing, I don't know what is. We have to account for that. And it's not about me trying to convince you. No, it said Laurel. No, it really said Yanni. It's not about that. It's coming to understand that my perception, the way that I ingest certain information, the way that I take in something is different going to be from the way that you take in something. And my objective isn't to convince you. You can't convince somebody. All you can do is share your perception in a calm and peaceful way. Sharing your perception. Here's how I perceive something. And listen to the perception of another. Now, sometimes you have a situation whereby both parties actually listening to the other, they come to some sort of a resolution or a compromise, or they get to see things from the other person's perspective. They may still believe what they believe, but suddenly there's this beautiful thing called understanding. There's this beautiful thing called empathy, where you can understand where that other person is coming from. But if when we're speaking and sharing our perception, all we're doing by sharing our perception is just trying to shove our message down another person's throat, they're not going to hear it. They're not going to hear it. And that's where conflict comes into play. There is a lack of dialogue. This is the essential issue. Dialogue means two. It's a two-way conversation. And you're not speaking so that what you're saying is heard. You're sharing and then being able to listen. It's this back and forth. So if right now you might have somebody in your life that you might be having a difficult time with, yes, you are perceiving what they did to you maybe in one way. But stop for a moment. Put your foot on the brakes. Take a step back. Try and to perceive how it is that they might be seeing it. I'm not saying that they're going to be right, you're going to be wrong, or the opposite way. But that mere action of trying to understand where the other person is coming from does a tremendous amount. That in itself, that action is called peace. Because peace isn't just something that you achieve. It's something that you're constantly working on. It's not something that you're just pursuing, you get to it and that's it. It's something you're constantly pursuing. You're constantly working on it and constantly working on it. That's really what the essence of it is all about. So I want to bring our attention here, right? Because how do we do this? How are things generally escalated? They're escalated generally with words, really, because words can basically throw gas onto the flame, or they can help quell things. Why? Because it's our ability to communicate. That's what makes us different than animals. It's our ability to communicate in a different kind of way. Yes, animals have the ability to communicate in their way with each other, but we have the ability to express deeper thoughts. That is a gift that we've been given as humanity. But if we don't use it, it's not going to serve us. So my challenge to all of you out there, yes, there may be somebody in your life this week that you can reach out to or help to settle a specific dispute or help to be that mediator that is allowing for that dialogue, that two-sided dialogue to happen. But here's another challenge, because a lot of us are home and we're on social media every day. You can be the voice that is going to add gas to the flame, or you could be a voice of reason. Even if something is wrong, there's a way in which you have to share how you feel and express how you feel when something is wrong. Because if you don't express it with calm words of reason and emotion, and you're only just going from a place of anger and resentment or hatred, no one's going to hear you on the other side. It's about being able to speak to people and show people that even may not agree with you a respect through words. That is what we have to do between one another. So when you have the ability over this week to either use words to add gas to the flame, even if it might be what everybody else is doing, everybody else is sending maybe really hateful or angry or nasty messages or whatever, rage, you make your choice. You make your choice. And it actually matters. Your choice actually matters because you matter. And you never know who's going to read it or how they're going to react to it or how it's going to make them think differently. So use your amazing gift of words to promote dialogue, to promote the understanding, the perception, helping people to understand the perception of another. I'm not saying it's going to be fixed like that, but that's really how we get to that place of lasting peace. And it's not easy. It's something that we have to constantly do, especially if everybody is doing one thing, we think we have to follow them, but that's not the case. So share your voice, but do it in a way in which your words will be heard with our purest intention and with love and kindness at the forefront of what we do, with understanding that we all have different perceptions and we all see that same thing in a different way. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for the weekly Kindness Kickoff. Don't worry, I didn't forget. I'm going to announce the winner of the Kindness Boomerang book. 2 copies, one for yourself and one to give forward to somebody else. But before I do that, I want to share a couple of comments that came through. And the truth is there were so many beautiful ones. I wish I could share all of them with you. So one person, Sherry1, wrote, I so love what you do. You inspire me. I found that this week I had the opportunity to encourage a former colleague who was feeling lonely, alone, and isolated. She cried on the phone and was so grateful for my listening ear and caring heart. I have continued to follow up with her, and I am intentionally making sure that I keep her connected. We will try playing a game online via Zoom together. That's really beautiful, Sherry, like really beautiful. Another one, Kimberly Diaz wrote, you inspired me to make those phone calls I've been putting off. Thank you, Orly. Good luck to you in your new home. I want to thank you so much, Kimberly. And there were so many more messages. I'm going to share one more comment. This one really just made me laugh, so I wanted to share it. And it's from a user named Tribalism. And he wrote, I don't know why, but I love your teeth. I read that. I have to tell you, I was laughing. So just thank you for making me laugh. That was fantastic. That's an act of kindness as it is. And so now we're going to go to the actual winner. And so I placed all the names into this really cool web-based app called Random Name Picker. And I put all the names of those of you that have left comments and that have left meaningful comments. So here we go. We're on our wheel of names, and I'm going to click to spin. And here we go. And the winner is... it's Sherry1. Congratulations, Sherry. Congratulations. And it's so funny because I happen to have read your comment. Congratulations on winning 2 copies of the book. All you need to do is email me. Email me to orly@lifevestinside.com and send me your full name, your address, and I'll make sure that I get you 2 copies of the book out to you right away for yourself and to give forward to someone else. Hope that you guys continue to share your thoughts and your comments and your feedback. We'll be doing the next drawing in the very beginning of July. Thank you for joining me. Good luck completing that act of kindness. And remember, guys, it's kindness that keeps the world afloat. Love you all. Mwah.